Hello everyone, welcome to the class on renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, which is also known as RAS system. This renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system is involved in multiple cardiac pathophysiology as well as diabetic nephropathy. Hence, I have dedicated an entire video to deal with this RAS system. Now, in the previous class, I have explained about pharmacotherapy of congestive heart failure. In that, I have explained what is cardiac remodeling is. Cardiac remodeling is alteration in heart size, shape, function that aggravates heart failure condition. The consequences of congestive heart failure is, the first consequence is remodeling of heart. Remodeling increases the mortality and morbidity of heart, which is dangerous for heart function. The other one, it results in decreased cardiac output, which activates neurohumoral modulations like sympathetic nervous system as well as renin-angiotensin-aldosterone systems will get activated. All these things will again contribute to the cardiac remodeling. Next one, I have explained pharmacotherapy. In pharmacotherapy, the major goals are to increase cardiac output, to reduce cardiac remodeling. Along with this, two important factors are there: to reduce preload as well as to reduce afterload. Preload and afterload will determine cardiac health. Now, out of this, I have explained inotropic agents which are used to increase cardiac output. There are three inotropic agent classes are there: cardiac glycosides like digoxin and beta-1 agonist as well as phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors. All the three agents, the major function is to increase the intracellular calcium levels in cardiac myocytes. To treat chronic congestive heart failure, digoxin is widely used, but not these two agents. The reason is they increase oxygen consumption by increasing heart rate. Increasing cardiac oxygen consumption may again cause ischemic injury. Digoxin indirectly inactivates sympathetic nervous system and activate parasympathetic nervous system. Hence, it will reduce cardiac output. Hence, it is widely used to treat chronic congestive heart failure. Now, in today's class, I am going to explain about functions of this RAS system, significance, overstimulation, overview of RAS, and how it acts and what are the drugs used to control that system. Let's start. Now, the functions of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Let us see how and what happens in this system. So, it all starts with angiotensin. Angiotensin is a protein which is secreted from liver, on which renin is an enzyme, acts on this protein and cleaves a 10-peptide angiotensin 1. Renin is released from kidney. Now, this 10-peptide angiotensin 1 is acted upon by angiotensin converting enzyme and results in octapeptide angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 will be acting on AT1 receptors as well as AT2 receptors, but AT1 receptors has got wide prominence because in adults AT1 receptors are more, AT2 are very few receptors are there. Now, the effect of angiotensin 2 on AT1 receptors are, it has got multiple effects. The major effect is vasoconstriction. Now, understand this word angiotensin. Angio means blood vessel. Tensin means which is creating tension inside the blood vessel, and that is what results in vasoconstriction. It is a potent vasoconstrictor. That is the reason why it is called as angiotensin. Now, along with that, it also stimulates sympathetic nervous system release. Norepinephrine is released as well as it also releasing aldosterone. So, both of them, sympathetic nervous system as well as aldosterone, are get released due to the stimulation of angiotensin 2. Now, along with this, it has got the chronic release of angiotensin 2 will result in hypertrophy of heart. Hypertrophy finally leads to cardiac remodeling. Not only this, it also causes proliferative effect on fibroblasts. If you remember, both of them results in cardiac remodeling. Sustained hypertrophy results in cell death. The dead cell will be replaced by fibrotic scarring tissue, and that results in arrhythmia and worsens remodeling. So, you can see cardiac remodeling is majorly because of these effects. So, this is the function of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Now, there is a significance for this system. Why do you think you have this system which is causing increase in hypertension, increase in blood pressure. You can see vasoconstriction increases blood pressure. All these systems, sympathetic nervous system as well as aldosterone release, will increase blood pressure. Why is this required for human beings? Let me explain this. Imagine in human beings, imagine this one is a human diagram, whereas you have heart is here. The job of heart is it has to pump blood to entire body. When it is pumping blood to the brain, it has to act against the gravity. In order to do that, it needs to maintain a minimum amount of pressure. If the pressure is not there, heart cannot pump the blood to head. If that happens, that becomes hypotension. Now what happens with hypotension? Look at this, low blood pressure or hypotension, what happens? It results in dizziness or lightheadedness. Why? To the head, blood circulation is not reaching, that results in dizziness. It immediately causes syncope or fainting. See, this is a protective mechanism. Once the human being falls down, for the heart, pumping blood is not against the gravity, so it can easily pump the blood. So fainting is a protective mechanism. Blurred vision again due to decreased blood supply to head region. Dehydration, fatigue and shallow breathing will be there. It is rapid because head is not getting enough amount of blood circulation. The breathing shallowness increases. See, all these are very detrimental, especially decreased blood supply to head is dangerous one. To avoid this thing, body has developed this renin-angiotensin system. Let me explain in a different manner. Imagine when you have hypotension, it results in dizziness. If it continues, it may cause brain death also. So, some time ago, researchers thought hypertension was required because hypertension is very dangerous. Hence, they used to call it as essential hypertension. Essential means which is required. This is there in older textbooks also. To maintain this minimum blood pressure, RAS system is evolved. Now the problem comes when it goes out of control, when there is an overstimulation of RAS system is there. Now let us see what happens with this overstimulation of RAS system. But for that, see, the major determinant is angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 release is based on renin release. How renin is released? There is a special apparatus is there. This one is a nephron part. This is called as glomerular apparatus. You can see this. This is glomerulus. This is what is magnified here. And to this glomerulus, blood is taken through efferent arterioles and filtered blood comes out through efferent arteriole. But these cells are there. These are nothing but this thing. Ascending loop of Mele makes a contact with efferent and efferent arteriole. The three junction apparatus is nothing but juxtaglomerular complex. Now what happens here is there are specialized cells called as macular denser cells. This is from loop of Mele. When there is low amount of sodium chloride concentration, that is sensed by juxtaglomerular cells and that immediately releases renin. Once renin is released, it immediately forms angiotensin 2. So the renin release is under the control of this macular denser cells pathway. This macular denser cells, the sodium chloride concentration will give a signal and due to which renin is released. Second one, when intrarenal baroreceptors sense when there is low BP, when blood pressure is low, it immediately stimulates the release of renin. Third one, there are beta-1 adrenergic receptors are present on these cells and they also stimulate the release of renin. So there are three determinants are there: sodium chloride concentration in macular densa, baroreceptor or decreased BP, and then beta-1 stimulation. All of them will release renin. Now once renin is released, it has the major functions are through this AT1 receptors by angiotensin 2. Now angiotensin 2, let me explain this. Angiotensin 2 can act on two receptors, one angiotensin 1, the other one is angiotensin 2. As I told you, the major effects are on angiotensin 1. Now this angiotensin 1 is a kind of G protein coupled receptor, especially it belongs to class GQ subunit. Now the activation of this linked to second messenger called IP3, inositol triphosphate, and finally results in increased levels of calcium. This is how these receptors are activated. Once activated, they cause all the effects like vasoconstriction and increased levels of sympathetic nervous system as well as aldosterone. And the major problem comes with it increases fibrosis as well as cardiac hypertrophy. Now see, the major problem comes with cardiac hypertrophy and then fibrosis. Understand this thing. As I told you, the system is evolved to protect human beings from hypotension. The problem comes with chronic stimulation of RAS system. How it happens? The major determinant of chronic stimulation is through stress. What happens when you are stressed? When you are stressed, sympathetic nervous system is activated. When sympathetic nervous system is activated, beta 1 receptors on these cells activates and renin is released. In modern age, we have high amounts of stress. That is what increasing the overstimulation of RAS, and that is what causing lot of problems. Now, this RAS system is involved in so many diseases like congestive heart failure, myocardial infarction, hypertension, and diabetic nephropathy. All these things, the pathophysiology involves this overstimulation of RAS system. Now we will go in details about CHF system. The overview of RAS system is this one. Understand this thing holistically, you will get everything. See, it all starts with low blood pressure or beta 1 stimulation. Beta 1 stimulation is because of stress. Low BP, beta 1 stimulation, or decreased sodium chloride concentration. All these things are sensed by kidney. Kidney releases renin. Now renin act on angiotensin which is released from liver. It converts to angiotensin 1. Now angiotensin 1 is acted by angiotensin converting enzyme which is released from this lungs and releases angiotensin 2. My dear friends, this one is very important one. You know, there are receptors called as angiotensin converting enzyme receptors. Nowadays the world is grappling with corona pandemic. You know, coronavirus gets into the body cells through these receptors, these angiotensin converting enzyme receptors. That is the reason why the major target for the virus is lungs. So people who has got high expression of angiotensin converting enzyme receptors are very much susceptible for corona infection. Getting back to our topic, so angiotensin 2 will be releasing aldosterone which will be acting on heart arteries. So this is the overview of RAS stimulation. Now see, angiotensin is converted by renin to angiotensin 1 which is a decapeptide. Again, ACE enzyme converts to octapeptide. The major effects are seen through AT1 receptors. There is an important thing. Angiotensin 1 without ACE enzyme can also be converted to angiotensin 2 by chymase enzyme. So this is an escape pathway. That is the reason why people cannot continuously use only angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. The job of these drugs is to inhibit this enzyme. In that conditions, the conversion takes place with the help of chymase. That is the reason why medical professionals combine these drugs with angiotensin receptor blockers, which will block AT1 receptors. If you continue to use only ACE inhibitors, the alternate pathway will get activated and angiotensin 2 comes. Hence, there is a combination of drugs are used. Now see, drugs, see this thing. Direct renin inhibitors will inhibit renin release, but the therapeutic significance is very low. Whereas ACE inhibitors has got very high therapeutic significance as well as ARBs, angiotensin receptor blockers too. But angiotensin converting enzyme will also act on bradykinin and it metabolizes it to inactive peptides. Bradykinin, if you inhibit a angiotensin converting enzyme, the levels of bradykinin is increased. The increased levels will cause dry cough as well as angioedema. So all ACE inhibitors will show these two side effects, dry cough and angioedema. Whereas ARBs do not have these side effects because they are directly blocking these receptors, but the enzyme still stays as such. Moving further. So this is again an overview for your understanding. Liver releases angiotensin, kidney releases renin, angiotensin is converted to angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme. It will be acting on all these organs. Pay some attention, go through this which is self-explanatory. Now, we have ACE inhibitors. As I told you, that when the enzyme is inhibited, AT1 effects will not be there. Now, the drugs are captopril, lisinopril, enalapril, ramipril, benazepril, forcepril. So many drugs are there, but I have given the important one. Now, out of this, captopril is less potent. But the problem with this drug is, even though it is less potent, it has got fast onset and short duration. So it acts very rapidly. Because of this fast onset, there is a problem with this drug, that is postural hypotension. Because see, angiotensin 2 causes vasoconstriction. When you block it, vasodilation will be there, which causes hypotension. So the problem with captopril is it causes postural hypotension. Now captopril and lisinopril, both of them are active drugs. That means they are active as such, whereas all the remaining drugs are prodrugs. They are in ester form. In the body, they are converted to acid form, and the acid form will show its action. Now, enalapril acid form is known as enalaprilat. Enalaprilat is also used in the IV form to treat hypertension. Excuse me. So enalaprilat is directly an active drug which is used to treat hypertension. Remaining all the drugs are prodrugs. Again, fosinapril is a phosphate containing drug. No other drug contains this phosphate group, but fosinapril contains phosphate drug. All the drugs are actively metabolized and excreted through kidney. Now the adverse effects are dry cough, angioedema. As I told you, they are because of bradykinin. Now because of the structures contain sulfur, they also cause rash. Now there are some contraindications are there. They should not be used in pregnancy case because they are fetotoxic. They cause toxicity to fetus, so they should not be used in pregnancy, as well as hyperkalemic condition. Because of aldosterone, potassium levels will increases. If you use these drugs with other drug which is causing hyperkalemia, the toxicity increases. Again, in renal insufficiency also, these drugs should not be used. Moving further, the next class is angiotensin receptor blockers. Losartan, valsartan, irbesartan, candesartan, telmisartan, olmesartan, all sartans are angiotensin receptor blockers, whereas all pril drugs are ACE inhibitors. Now all these drugs, the major job is they will block AT1 receptors. Because they are directly blocking AT1 receptors, they do not show dry cough and they do not have this dry cough and angioedema problem, but the remaining all adverse effects will be there. As I told you previously also, ACE inhibitors are usually used along with this ARBs. ACE inhibitors are used along with ARBs because of alternate pathway. So this is about RAS system. Thank you for watching this video.